Hey all, Toves here. Today we're going to look again at the science and mechanics in breeding in Atlas and what you need to know in order to make it work. So in the last video on this I showed that every animal in the game has an optimum breeding and maturation temperature that affects whether or not they can breed or an infant can mature without dying. So I included in that video the two icons that appear, one that shows you that the animal is too hot and one that shows you the animal is too cold. So if you haven't already, I would suggest going and watching that video first by clicking up there, because the stuff in this one basically is just building out from that theory and that idea. I ended that video by saying that everybody should be, if you want to breed in this game, everybody should be breeding in the tundra because it's the only place to do it. So this is going to carry on that theory and work out if I'm right or if I have ways around it. I have heard of a lot of theories and I'm going to work through those and see if I can debunk those and see where we end up at the end of it. So yeah, buck up a bit guys, because this is going to get quite technical and there's quite a bit involved in this, so I'm hoping that you find at least something in this useful. So my current theory is that all animals fall into one of three biome categories. I'm calling biome categories, basically temperature buckets, dependent on where their optimum temperature range is for breeding and maturation. So I haven't done all of them yet, but this is basically what I'm talking about. What you're seeing on screen is what I'm talking about. So I think there's a tropical desert category, a temperate category, and a tundra polar category. And if you imagine these as three bands laid out parallel across the screen, across the map here, so stacked up on top of each other, going from the hottest at the top, down to the medium, down to the coldest at the bottom. Every animal sits in one of these three bands. So that's not referring to where they spawn, that is only referring to what climate they need to be at in order to breed successfully. So what the icon indicators are giving us is an indication of either one band up or one band below the optimum band for that animal. When you see the message that says unsuitable biome, then you are two bands away from that biome. Now the reason why I think it does that and why they've done that in the game is because to an extent you can change the temperature in the game. You can change the temperature enough to effectively move it one band, but you can't change it enough to move it two bands. The question is, what do you do about the fact that you haven't got the optimum biome for this animal to breed? Can you change it? There are a lot of myths, there are a lot of theories, so let's look at these. So first of all, we're going to look at, can you cool down your tame? There is speculation that water will make a difference. I actually even asked that question myself in one of the previous videos. So let's explore those. So the first thing I saw was, can you lead an animal to water in order to cool it down? Can you lead the baby to water and can you lead the animal to water? We're just going to use the breeding pairs. I'm not going to use the babies because they're going to die. So what happens if you have your breeding pair in the sea, for example? So there's the indicator. There are my bears quite happily submerged in the sea. No difference. What about in fresh water? Does that make a difference? Nope, no difference either. A lot of people I think have been slightly confused or misled by this animation. So this is getting a bucket of water and throwing it over your animals. Again, this makes no difference whatsoever. You can see that that indicator is not changing, and I've tested this on both the babies and the adults. It doesn't change. What about with a room full of penguins? Does that make any difference? This was my hope. It doesn't. It doesn't make any difference. I went all the way to the Arctic. I tamed a bunch of penguins. I brought them home. It makes no difference. Very disappointing. Doesn't help with eggs either. They won't incubate a too hot egg. So can you warm them up? Well, and this is what I said in the previous video, you absolutely can warm them up. You can raise that temperature As I've said, as long as it is within that 1 band range for the animal, you can use fires, you can raise the temperature enough. If you see the message above them that says unsuitable biome, it will not make any difference how many fires you light, they won't have it. So that's the mechanics as it currently stands. Obviously these things are changing quite a lot, so this may well change. I may well have to update this. It's actually changed since I last did my video. So these things were pretty fluid at the moment. So I'm sorry it's not better news, guys. I'm pretty gutted about this myself. It seems that breeding and taming is becoming harder and harder at the moment. I'm just hoping that the patches coming soon are going to rebalance these things and make it a bit easier for us to breed. Hopefully you found some of that useful. Hopefully it's new information to you. Please don't waste your time if you haven't considered these things, because if you're on official, it's basically impossible to breed anything at the moment. Anything that is outside of the right biome, the only way to do it is to take them to the tundra, warm them up, or take them to the exact biome they should be in. The problem we'll find is that even in the exact biome, even in a temperate biome, you're always getting such massive fluctuations from the heat waves and the cold snaps that you'll just lose the babies. The babies take so long to mature. The whole process takes such a long time. All of that would be acceptable if there was a way of mitigating the fluctuations. It's too RNG, it's too difficult. So yeah, do feel free to ask questions, drop comments and stuff down below, guys. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Toves. Don't forget to subscribe, like and all that good stuff. Share it with your crew and your company. And yeah, I shall catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy.